Seriously?
Seriously.
Seriously?
Oh. Latin America is vast. There are so many different countries and so many different traditions, and they're all so distinct. Every road kept leading us to Colombia for this film because Colombia is this crossroads of culture, of dance, of music, of food. It's beautifully blended as far as like a mix of Afro-Latin culture, indigenous culture, Spanish culture, and you see this even in families. We spent time out in the middle of the country, we went to big cities, and really tried to absorb as much as possible. And we came back just charged up and really wanting to represent as much of Colombia in this film as we possibly could.
I think when we first began, it was so critical for us to figure out what we all had in common. I think with any of our movies, you need to find that connection to it. We all have large extended families. There are wonderful things with family and there are challenges with family, and that's something that we all had in common. And to be honest, we'd never seen that on screen before, certainly not at Disney Animation. Typically our movies recently have been buddy movies, one or two characters or two or three characters going on a journey, and we wanted to spend time with the big family. So we have 12 main characters. We knew that we wanted all of them to be specific and to get to know them, and then to flip our expectations of who those people were, just like our own families.
Actually, when we were designing and thinking about this character of the house, Casita, really a lot of our notions about what family is kind of went into that character, because in this movie, their house is sort of a reflection of them, a reflection of their sort of like love and history and preoccupations, and in this movie sort of takes on a life of its own as a living entity that has its own kind of preferences and people it doesn't like so much. And it's a reflection of the family's health and how they're doing. And so I think that family is made up of its members, but it's sort of a living entity of its own.
2 years ago, everyone went home because of the pandemic. So, to try to do a production of this magnitude from everyone's homes was an enormous task, because our movies are so collaborative. We have hundreds of people working. We're used to running into each other in the hallways, having ideas randomly in moments that you wouldn't expect that are not tied to a meeting. And so to take this very personal, collaborative group of people and separate them was very hard. But ultimately what was really exciting is we got to see each other's families through the Zooms. The whole point of our movie is to see each other differently and to expand our perspective. And so over the course of the story, as hard as that was, we actually got to, I think, know each other better than we would have had we stayed in the building.
We would sort of identify moments that we thought were song, moments that we wanted to explore and deepen the characters, and pass on some ideas to Lin, and Lin would give us back these just incredible songs that would just deepen the characters and expand on these relationships in ways that were really helpful, and that we would take back and infuse into the rest of the script as we were writing it. It was a really very close back and forth between us and Lin-Manuel about sort of figuring out how to deepen these characters. He had this brilliant insight of creating the song We Don't Talk About Bruno about halfway through the movie. That's this huge ensemble song where we get to see the entire family together, and I think that was such a brilliant insight of his. It's one of my favorite songs from the movie.